Ahoy, my friends, Ryder here, and welcome back to another Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis video. Today I am getting into a solo crash guide for you guys, and not gonna lie, this is going to be a completely different strategy than the co-op crash guide that I put up with J.Ro and Omega. That strategy is still going to work, but there's been a new strategy floating around revolving around a solo Sephiroth DPS in the entire fight, where you can use Barret almost solely as a buffer slash poisoner, with a little bit of fire materia in there, alongside Aerith, who's essentially running like either the Snowflake or the Silver Staff for an AoE Blizzaga, but essentially just healing. So the team composition is super simple. The strategy is super simple. You're going to have Aerith as a healer, Barret as a buffer, and essentially Sephiroth as a sole DPS. So at the beginning of this fight, I'm actually going to be showing you guys something new. I've been working on a new way that I can explain the mechanics of these fights to you guys in a way that you guys can screenshot easily and essentially make it as easy as possible for you guys to understand how these fights work and to reference them easily in the future. So I'm going to jump over to a PowerPoint that I made for this fight, and please let me know in the comments if this is something that you guys enjoy, if it's something that you think I don't need. And yeah, that being said, let's get into it. Alright guys, so here we are on the PowerPoint for the Turks crash mechanics. This is going to work for both the solo crash and the co-op crash fight. For those of you that are looking to get carried on this fight, come join our Discord server on Sunday at 2 p.m. At 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So basically when the game resets on Sunday, come join our Discord and we are going to be carrying different players. And it's important that you guys watch this video and understand it, because this video is going to show you exactly what you're going to have to build in order to get carried. This is going to be pretty simple because it's really only going to require one super strong player per team, and 2 people can get carried at a time. Granted that the 2 players can build this version of Barret and Aerith, which honestly is not asking for a lot. So let's break down the solo crash fight. All right, so the sigils that are going to be required in this fight are going to be X and Diamond. However, the Diamond, there is no, as you guys can see here, no Diamond sigil weapon is required, and the counter for Rude can be physical or magical. However, in this strategy, we're never going to actually deal with Rude's counter or his sigil break, so it's actually pretty cool because it takes out a lot of the tougher mechanics out of the fight. This team strategy is going to focus on Sephiroth as a solo DPS. The team you're going to need in order to pull this off is going to be Sephiroth with at least an OB6 Protector's Blade, and preferably Akuja's Spirit Blade at base 5-star plus. So B 5-star plus. That means essentially as long as you have base 5-star or anything higher, it's going to work. If you don't have the Akuja's Spirit Blade, you could run the Northern Lights, you could run the Edged Wings. I still think it's going to be doable even without Akuja's Spirit Blade. However, I think that the OB6 Protector's Blade is going to be pretty pivotal in this fight. For Barret, he's going to be running Assault Gun, base 5-star plus. So if you guys at least have 1 copy, it's going to work. And the Micro Laser is super important on Barret. So if you want to run Barret in the carry, you're going to need at least those 2 weapons, at least 1 copy of each. And then last but not least, we're going to have Aerith. You're going to need at least an OB6 Fairy Tail and either a copy of the Snowflake or the Silver Staff at base 5-star plus. So you'll see that I'm running the Silver Staff at OB3, and it works absolutely fantastic for this fight. All right, so moving forward, the beta or the strategy for the Turks crash, beta is another word for strategy, just in case you guys didn't know that. Sephiroth's role is going to be as the main DPS / the breaker of attack and magic against the opposing enemy party. Barret's role is going to be to do AoE physical defense up and also magic attack up Sephiroth while also casting poison on the enemies. Aerith's role is going to be healing, casting poison, and casting AoE Blizzaga throughout the fight. So more or less super simple here on the team setup, guys. So when you get into this fight, you're going to open it by playing more defensively for the first 3, I think, attacks from the Turks here. So make sure that Barret is using agitation, make sure that you're healing properly, and that Sephiroth is doing the AoE physical magic attack down as often as possible. Let's see here. You can target either Reno, Elena, or even Rude at the beginning of the fight. I normally target Reno at the beginning just so we help to get his HP down a little bit towards the end. That's been my strategy, as you guys will see in the video. And make sure that Aerith and Barret are getting off poisons whenever they can. Alright, so you're going to keep on damaging Reno at the beginning of the fight while surviving until Rude goes into his Aegis form, which is essentially a provoke where he pulls all of the taunt towards him and he gets a bar that can be broken by damage. Now during this phase, it's important that Sephiroth is the only one who's really attacking. Aerith is going to also be attacking, but she's casting an AoE ability. So at this point in time, even though we're just chipping away at Rude's HP, we're also damaging all 3 of the Turks at the same time. And because we're slowly breaking the Aegis guard that's up on Rude, we're going to have a long time in order to get off a ton of AoE attacks. So by the time we're going to actually break the Aegis phase on Rude, we're just going to launch all 3 summons, Ifrit, Shiva, and Bahamut, and kill Reno and Rude right then and there. And then you're basically going into the end game against Elena herself. All right, so like I said, the goal of this phase is for Barret to keep a magic attack up on Sephiroth, bio on Rude. Sephiroth is going to spam Protector's Blade, super simple. Aerith is going to heal when she needs to, AoE Blizzaga, and keep poison on Rude at all times. The goal is to get to Reno and Rude to 20% HP during the Aegis until it breaks, then kill them both with summons, which takes us to the end of the fight. Alright, once Rude and Reno go down, we're going to be focusing Elena. During this time, she's going to do 2 charge attacks before she starts taking out your team individually. Alright, so that's going to be the time that you have to actually kill her. Alright, now you want to be focusing, so Sephiroth is going to stop using Protector's Blade at this point in time. I switch to Fyra on Sephiroth, Fyra on Barret, and I'll toss an occasional magic attack up with Barret. Aerith will essentially just be healing during this phase, and will still use agitation to raise the physical defense up on the first 2 charge attacks that she does. Keep in mind, on the second of her 2 charge attacks, she is going to individually target one character, lower their HP before actually hitting them with the actual charge attack. So it's important to heal that character, especially if it's your main DPS, before she gets off that second charge attack. Alright guys, this is going to conclude the mechanics for the solo Turks crash fight. Like I said, if you guys enjoyed this setup for basically explaining the fight itself, please let me know and I'll continue to do it for harder fights in the future to come. That being said, let's get back to EverCrisis. Alright guys, so here we are back with my team build for the solo crash fight. As you guys can see down here, it is the Reno, Rude, and Elena crash, and I'm going to be running a team of Barret, Aerith, and Sephiroth, which I just went over a little bit in the mechanics details. The power of the team is going to be 295,000, and like I said, we're running a full-time buffer, a full-time healer / AoE Blizzaga user, and a full-time magic DPS / attack breaker with Sephiroth here. For Barret, he is going to be running the gear voucher costume, the fiery cape, HP physical defense, the assault gun at OB8. However, if you have it at OB base 5-star or OB1, it's still going to work great. And as you can see, a base 5-star micro laser for the magic attack up increase to a single ally. I am going to be running Ifrit on Barret because I am running a fire potency weapon up in the sub weapons for him. Now, moving over to Aerith, I am running her with the Garnet's costume right here. However, you could also run her with the Rosy battle suit right here, or you could run her with the Chocobo suit as well. You could even run her with the Sunny robe. There's a lot of options here for Aerith. In her main hand, I will be running the Fairy Tale right here. You're going to need it at least OB6 for a proper heal. And then in the sub weapon, like I said, you could run Snowflake. I'm going to run Silver Staff. I find that this works better than Snowflake because it's AoE damage and it balances the damage between Reno and Rude a little more efficiently, in my opinion. And yeah, like I said, I have it at OB4 level 80, but anything above base 5-star, honestly OB1 would be best so you get that extra damage boost. But I think as long as you have the weapon itself, you should be fine. And she's also running Shiva right here because she does get the ice potency from the Silver Staff as well. Now, last but not least, we have Sephiroth here. He is running his Magic Arcanum costume with Bahamut level 5. The Protector's Blade at OB8, but as long as you have it at OB6, this is going to be doable. And then the Kuja Spirit Blade at OB6, but like I said, even if you have a single copy at base 5-star, it's also still going to be doable. In regard to the materia, I'm going to be running a bio on each one of them. This is just a backup on Sephiroth. He should only really be using Protector's Blade and Kuja's Spirit Blade at the beginning of the fight. On their second materias, I have a Fyra on Barret, a Kira on Aerith, and a Fyra on Sephiroth for the ending phase against Elena. And then down here, we just have 3 X Sigil Breakers. It does not matter if they are magic or physical right now because we are not going to get to Rude's second Sigil Break. Or even the Diamond Sigil Break at that. This strategy is absolutely fantastic. Whoever came up with it, someone dropped a video in my Discord. I saw it and was like, wow, this is a fantastic strategy. I think it's going around, so I figured I would cover it. And hopefully a lot of you guys can get this solo crash clear. You can get that cool new icon and be on your way. All right, so looking at the back end of the characters here we have Barret. Level 70, 78,000 power, 9.3k HP, 2.7k magic attack. It's important you build him for magic attack. He's got 152 physical defense, which is pretty solid. And going into his R abilities right here, as you guys can see, he's pretty decked out. I'll show you guys one more right here. All right, so he's pretty strong, guys. And I will say that probably HP and physical defense and then fire potency are important. All of these are going to be pretty important on Barret. His sub-weapons are going to be the OB10 Amaron's Claws, but honestly, just slot whatever you have for HP. I put this one just for the HP, so you could use the Crystal Gloves. Obviously, the boost physical ability potency does nothing on him for a magic build. In the second slot, I have the Stream Guard from Zac for the boost magic attack to all allies, and the fire potency right there. And last but not least, I have the Best Wishes from Glenn, the free weapon that gives physical defense and magic defense. Moving over to Aerith Gainsborough, she has 96k power, 10.2k HP, 3k magic attack, 128 physical defense, and 2.7k healing. So she's looking pretty good. Her R abilities are going to be highlighting healing at level 8, HP at level 5, physical defense at level 2, ice potency at level 3. Those are going to be the most important ones. And her sub-weapons are going to be the Hell House Cannon for the HP physical defense, the Pinwheel for the HP ice potency, and lastly the Guard Stick for the boost healing limit break potency. However, if you had the Centipede, you could easily slot this in. It is even better. Alright guys, last but not least, we have the man of the hour, Sephiroth himself, sitting at 119,000 power, 8.4k HP, 4.5k magic attack with 123 physical defense. So he is the least tanky of the bunch. I did make him as DPS focused as I could while also making it possible for him to survive. You'll see him come pretty close to Death's Edge at a couple times, but he is going to barely hang in here, and that is what you want to do with DPS, is build them to the point where they can barely survive, but use the maximum amount of damage. Alright, so let's look at his abilities in the back end. He does have magic attack at level 7. Other than that, we have boost magic ability potency, boost magic ability mastery. Other than that, HP and physical defense are going to be the most important ones. And his sub-equipments are going to be the Sun Umbrella for the boost magic attack, magic ability potency. Slot whatever you have that raises magic attack as high as you can. Then I'm going to have the Hell House Collar for boost HP and physical defense, his only defensive sub-weapon. And last but not least, the Edged Wings for the boost magic attack and ice potency, which doesn't really help him at all. I just stacked that on there for magic attack. All right, guys, that is going to conclude the team build for the solo crash. Let's get into the voiceover of the fight, and I'm going to show you guys exactly and how efficient and easy this team absolutely crushes it. Let's get into it. All right, guys, I'm going to be running you through this fight right now, teaching you exactly what you need to beat it. All right, so at the beginning of this fight, I'm going to switch over to Barret. Okay, I switch over to Sephiroth on accident, but Barret is going to cast Agitation right at the beginning of the fight. First priority, and immediately switch over to the defense stance to tank the first grenade. You have just enough time with Barret. Alright, after this, I'm going to be focusing on Reno. Aerith is going to heal, Sephiroth is going to attack break, and then I'm going to switch back over to Barret and wait to cast Agitation right towards the very end right here. All right, there you go. Then we're going to tank the second attack, so that's the second one down. All right, there we go. Aerith is going to heal from this as well, and we're just going to keep on focusing on breaking their attack while also having Barret boost our physical defense for surviving this fight. All right, here we go. There goes that heal. We have the break attacks down. Okay, and we are just going to switch over and block the third attack right here, coming from Elena and Reno. Okay, that one can do quite a bit of damage, especially if you don't get off Barret's Agitation. For all of you guys that are running a less than an OB6 version of that assault gun, it's going to be fine because you'll have time to cast it twice. Alright, here we go. At this point in time, I'm going to start focusing on damage. Alright, we are going to get the triple sigil break, but I am going to hit one Protector's Blade, and then we're just going to very delicately take each of them out one at a time. We'll focus on Reno first, then Elena, then Rude. Normally I can wait to let them do their attacks just to feel out where we're at. As soon as we finish taking out Rude, we're going to switch back over to Reno. You'll see that my team got a poison off on Rude, which is really important right here. Alright, here we go. And now we're just going to focus on as much DPS as possible. As you can see, Barret already lifted the magic attack up on Sephiroth. Alright, and we're going to break their attack once again, do as much damage as we can, and after this next Turks Bloodlust attack, Rude is going to go into his Aegis phase. Alright, so we're going to Agitation right here at the end, block this attack, and that's going to essentially conclude phase 1 of this fight, which is the more defensive part of this fight. After this attack marks phase 2, the more offensive part of this fight, alright? So there you have it. Rude's going to go into guard style. He's going to provoke everyone. And during this point in time, everything's super simple. Rude stays poisoned. Barret keeps the magic attack buff up on Sephiroth. And Aerith is going to go back and forth between healing, poison, and Blizzaga. And you'll see that we are just taking down all of their HP as quickly as possible during this phase. Especially when Rude is in Aegis, the offensive capacity of the Turks seems to dwindle a little bit. You'll see that they do a lot less damage overall, which gives us a great amount of time to essentially do as much damage to the entire team as we can, because we are very, very, very slowly breaking his Aegis right here, as you guys can see. Alright, so remember, like I said, the goal during this phase is to get Reno and Rude down to around 20% HP so that we can take them both out with the summons that just fully charged right there. Alright, so Barret is just going to be casting Stalwart Faith over and over on Sephiroth. We're going to keep that poison up at all times. Super important to keep that poison up because as you can see, Reno takes a little bit more damage than Rude from these attacks. So it's good to make sure that you get the extra damage from the poison right here. But overall, we're essentially taking them down pretty evenly, which is a really cool strategy for this fight and a really, really fun way to utilize Sephiroth's new Protector's Blade. Alright, here we go. So the Aegis has about 25% life left in it. You'll see that we're going to re-up that poison here in a second. Alright, after Sephiroth gets off this Protector's Blow, we're switching back to Bio. Alright, we get it on the first try right there. And Aerith is going to cast her Blizzaga, which is keeping Reno down as well. And yeah, essentially it's really that simple, guys. Pure buffer, pure healer, all poisons, and a lot of Protector's Blade. And you'll see that once we get the Aegis down to the end, the summons is going to basically take all the difficulty out of this fight, and we're going to be left with Elena, and she's honestly not too bad at the end. All right, so here we are. We're getting close to breaking this Aegis phase right here. All right, we're going to keep Rude poisoned. Aerith is going to keep everyone fully healed on the HP. And Sephiroth is going to still be doing as much damage as possible. Try to make sure Sephiroth is attacking when he has the magic attack buff. Alright, so here we go. Jess got Rude into the red right there. Reno's down under 10%. Okay? But you want to make sure you kill them at the same time, guys. So Rude is broken right here. Reno will start to cast Electrocute. And you want to get off the summons before Reno gets off that attack. And make sure that it kills Reno and Rude together at the same time. And repeat that, guys. It's very important that Reno and Rude both get killed at the same exact time because it differentiates what Elena is going to do based on who dies first. But if neither of them die first and they both die together, it puts her in the easiest state for being able to kill her. Alright, so there goes Bahamut right there. Now Elena is going to switch over to her attack stance right here after dropping a high potion. Alright, we're going to get everyone back up to full HP. Once she's in attack style, damage is going to be increased to her as she is going to take an automatic physical defense, magic defense down. This is the first of her 2 charge attacks that's incoming. Make sure to cast Agitation. Alright, and block it. 1 attack down. Sephiroth is going to lower the attack on her right there. Alright, so not bad at all, guys. She's looking pretty good. Aerith is going to get off that Kiraga. We're going to go straight back to the Fyras and the Stalwart Fates right there. Alright, so just spam casting Fyra here. And since Barrett has Zack's Stream Guard weapon attached, he's also going to do pretty decent damage with his Fyra as well. Alright, make sure Aerith, now keep an eye on this second charge attack. She's going to hit Sephiroth first. Alright, she hit him first. Okay, so I'm going to heal him back to full right there. Make sure that Sephiroth is near full or whoever gets hit by this second attack. Then get off the Agitation at the end and block it and you're good to go. You guys are going to be in the clear. This was the second charge attack that was coming. After this, she's going to start taking out characters one at a time. Alright, so at this point, just go full blown on the DPS as much as you can, as fast as you can do it. Alright, and we're just going to start annihilating her with fire materia. Okay, here we go. Once she starts to cast again, she typically targets the healer first. Alright, then Barrett, then Sephiroth. Typically the DPS gets targeted last. Alright, which makes for a kind of a climactic finish, which makes this fight so fun in my opinion. Alright, so there you guys go. Aerith is going to get killed right here. I didn't even need to change over to defense stance. You'll see how much damage she does. Alright, there you have it. 58,000, so not close to being able to survive that. Alright, we're going to switch back. It is lagging right there on the stance gauge. Going to get off one more Stalwart Faith on Sephiroth. And we are just going to essentially spam Fyra all the way until the very end, guys. Alright, so looking pretty good here. And I think we're about to have it with this last Fyra. And there you guys have it. Alright, so I hope that this guide, the mechanics I put up at the beginning of the fight, the team build, and this voiceover have been helpful in helping you guys understand this fight, because I really feel like a lot of you guys have the capability to clear this fight. That being said, come join our Discord, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We are going to be doing carries. You can either play Aerith or Barrett or even Sephiroth if you have an OB6 Protector's Blade or even OB10. That being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to drop a comment and subscribe to future content if you guys are keen on seeing more Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis content. All right, guys, that being said, I hope you all have a wonderful night. Take care and peace.